Alright, so in this project we're going to be building a image gallery. Alright, so it's basically a one-page application, and of course we're using CSS, HTML5, and we're also going to use some jQuery. And I hope that doesn't alarm you. If you don't know jQuery or JavaScript, that's okay. Basically we have two areas where we're going to be using it. Alright, so first, you can see if we hover over the images, it has that little fade effect. That's all CSS. That's actually just a CSS transition. But if we click on an image, we get this light box that opens up. And this is done using jQuery, but we're just using a plugin. We're using a jQuery plugin called FancyBox, alright, which allows us to view the large image, and it also gives us this little control panel up here where we can actually scroll through our gallery. Alright, you can make the image bigger, you can even play a slideshow and it moves by itself, and then we can close it out. Alright, so that's all done using the jQuery plugin. So the good news is, since it's a plugin, we don't really need to pay attention to the code. We're just gonna kind of just link it to our HTML, and that'll be that. The other aspect that we're using jQuery is the categories. Now, instead of just creating 3 category pages and just linking to those pages, we're going to use jQuery to dynamically have the images for each category just fade in. Okay, view all, and then we have category 1 and category 2. Alright, so that allows us to keep everything on one page. And we're going to write the jQuery for that, but it's not too difficult. Basically, we're just going to use selectors to hide certain images. Alright, so we'll give each image a category attribute, and then we can choose to show or display them using jQuery. Alright, so before we get started on that, there's one thing that I did want to do. This logo here I just created really quick using Photoshop, and I started to think that maybe some of you are wondering how to do that, or to do something like that. And I realize that many of you probably don't have Photoshop, and that's fine. You can actually just skip this. But I just wanted to show you real quick how to make a text image like this. Okay, nothing fancy at all. Just using the type tool and a little bit of stroke for the border here. So I'm going to go ahead and open Photoshop, and I'm going to open up a new document, or create a new document. And for the width, I think it's going to be 370 by 70, or 380 by 70. This isn't going to be the actual image that I'm going to use for the logo. I just want to kind of show you how to do it. So basically, we have our layer panel over here. You can see we have one layer called background, which is white. What I'm going to do is change that to the color of the header here, this dark blue. Alright, so I already have the color down here to the bottom left. You can see this darker blue. I can click this little arrow to switch to that color, and then I want to use the brush here and just go over this. Alright, next I want to click on the type tool, this little T here, and I'm going to change the text color up here. If I click in this dark blue, I'm going to change it to white. I'm sorry, I'm going to change it to the lighter blue because I want to do the CSS text first. So I can take this little eyedropper and click this blue, click OK, and then I'm just going to go ahead and type CSS, and I'm going to make this smaller. Alright, so basically that's the CSS part. You can see our image. Okay, so now we want this image gallery, which is a little bigger. So we want to go back to the text tool. I'm going to change the color to white. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let me go back. I want to actually create a new word. Okay, so I'm going to type image gallery, and now I'm going to change that text to white. Alright, so basically what I want to do now is get that border around it. So first of all, I want to change the font. So if I click the type tool, go up here to the text font family selector, and I'm going to choose Rockwell Extra Bold. Okay, so that changed the font for me. Now to get the border, I'm going to go over to the layers panel here, double click on the image gallery, and then stroke. I want to check that and then click on it, and you can see now the image here has a black outline. I'm just going to change the color to that blue. Click OK. OK, and now you can see it has that border around it. Alright, so you just line these up. Alright, and you don't want a background, so the background layer, I'm just going to click this little eye, gets rid of it, and then you would just save it. You go to save. I'd suggest going to save for web and devices, and you can play with the quality and stuff here, but I'm not going to get into that. And then you would click save, and you want to save it. Actually, let me cancel this for a minute. You want to choose the format. You can save as a JPEG, a PNG 8, a PNG 24. Alright, if you save as a JPEG, it's going to have a white background because JPEGs can't have this transparency. So you want to make sure you choose either PNG 8 or 24. I'd suggest 24 for higher quality, and save it. Okay, you would save it as whatever logo.png, and that's it. And then you just upload it to your images folder. Alright, so that's how you can make a quick logo using Photoshop. So in the next video we will get our page structure down. We'll create the header and insert the logo and things like that. And then we'll move on to the CSS and then to the jQuery.